gonna change this world. Soon and very soon, we are gonna change this world. Forever, ever, we're gonna change this world. Let me hear you now.
Soon and very soon,
we are
going to change this world.
Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. One more time. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world.
Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world.
Together. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. No more dying here, we are going to change this world. No more dying here, we are going to change this world. No more dying here, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Very soon
and very soon,
we are going to change this world. Very soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever
and ever, we're going to change this world.
Climate justice here, we are going to change this world. Climate justice here, we are going to change this world. Climate justice here, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. We are going to change this world. No border walls, no border walls. We are going to change this world. No border walls. We are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change. Let me hear you strong. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. Oh, honor labor here, we are going to change this world. Honor labor here, we are going to change this world. Honor labor here, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change the world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change this world. No more racism, we are going to change this world. No more racism, we're going to change this world. No more racism, we're going to change this world. Forever, ever, we're going to change it. Soon and very soon, Here you know.
We are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon. soon. We are going to change this world. Forever and ever, we're going to change this world.
Soon and very soon.
Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Soon and very soon, we are going to change this world. Forever and ever,
We're going to change this world.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
All right, let's give a warm round of applause for our choir of angels right here. From introduce yourselves again.
Rose from St. Joe's University.
Rose from St. Joe's.
Gary Ann Cami from Notre Dame Academy.
Notre Dame Academy, Marianne.
Tom from St. Joseph's University.
Tom St. Joseph. All right. The rest of them ran away. The rest ran away. Angel from Creighton, Omaha. And of course, from ISN directly, Jorge Palacios. Let's hear it.
Good morning, everyone. Am I on? There we go. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? That was really pathetic. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? There we go. Thank you. All right, we are going to do another round of roll call here. So hopefully your school made it on time because you woke up on time. As a reminder, we're going to do 4 names. And then I will raise our hands for presente. Our first 4 today: Jesuit College Prep School in Texas, Loyola High School Los Angeles, Jesuit High School Sacramento, Newton Country Day School of the Sacred Heart.
Universidad Centroamericano San José Simeón Cañas in El Salvador. Cristo Rey Jesuit High School in Illinois, St. Louis University, and Dolores Mission Church. Presente! Hey.
Villanova University, Xavier High School in New York City, Archbishop Mitty High School, and Boston College.
That's MIDI, I'm guessing. St. Xavier High School in Ohio, Bowdoin College, Call to Action, Gwynedd Mercy University.
Cardinal Gibbons High School, Keynote Border Initiative, Jesuit Schools Network, and Catholic Theological Union.
Chevers High School in Maine, College of the Holy Cross, Cristo Rey Atlanta Jesuit High School, Fairfield College Preparatory School.
Cristo Rey, New York, the Diocese of Cleveland, Future Church, and St. Ignatius Prep, California.
Nice. Gonzaga College High School in Washington, D.C., Loyola Academy in Illinois, Marquette University High School, Red Cloud Indian School.
Loyola University, Chicago, Magnificat High School, Ohio, St. Peter Catholic Church, North Carolina, and Mount St. Mary's University.
Notre Dame San Jose, the University of San Francisco, the Pierre Toussaint Scholars Program, Regis Jesuit High School in Colorado.
St. John's Prep, Rockhurst University, St. Bonaventure's College, and Seattle Prep.
Spring Hill College, the University of Dayton, Valley Catholic High School in Oregon, St. Joseph's Preparatory in Pennsylvania.
All right, we'd like to welcome back to the stage Francisco and the Peace Poets.
Peace, family. Peace, peace. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Frankie, also known by Lumi of the Peace Poets. It's such a pleasure to be here with you all. This is a piece that I do every year at this gathering, and it's a reminder of the power that each and every one of us have within our hearts, within our spirits, in a world that constantly tells us that we're not enough. Do we have any artists in the building? Any singers, dancers, filmmakers, media artists, painters? We need you. We need you to live in your vision of the world that we want to live in. So this piece is dedicated to you. I'd like to think that everything is possible, that nothing is an obstacle, that everything is optical and optimism's optimal. But pessimism never lets you listen to the God in you. Possibility is so strange and seems so odd to you when the marketing done got to you. Selling all their visions on the television, opting you to listen to your insecurities while their modules placing all that sickness and disease up inside of you. But it's never to provide for you. It's always just about you consuming all the products. Who really gets a sense of it? Let's really get a sense of it and feel it in your body, son. You are full of love and light. Spit that truth, embody, son. Because cynicism consuming all the human in them. We stay a prison reflecting all the lumens in them. Aimed at a system that has us down on our luck. But we're in love with our people. And that's word to this luminous flux. This ain't a mic. This is the way you amplify light so we can see our own reflections in the words that you write. And this ain't a pen, nah. This is the way you channel your zen and meditate upon the days that you were blessed to have been. And this ain't a rap. It's a prayer call to the fact that we're bigger than our fears and their societal traps. On top of that, the world is waiting for you in this hour to realize what you are worth and quickly step into your power. It's not just about your past. We need you more than ever to forgive all of the parts of you thought were broke and weathered, to give some of that heart that you might think just won't belong because you're too focused on your flaws and everything that you've done wrong. But we need your song. Just look around into the sea of people. Celebration. Bunch of spirits bathed in starlight on a quest for liberation. Ancestors in your sister, see them in your brother's eyes. New dawn and day upon us, and all we have to do is rise. And the divine gave you this breath to speak and call your truth to power. In the face of all injustice and a darkness that devours, in the face of crooked cops and a violence that's systemic, it's our fate to sing our song upon this silence epidemic. And you ain't alone. Let's take this time to welcome you home to a movement born of movements within a dance of our own. Be buoyant through revolution, be girding through liberation, up rocking to the solution, pop locking through occupation. Family, have you ever had a dream before? Then don't mistake it for impossible, just because it's something you ain't seen before. Peace.
Thank you to the Peace Poets and to Francisco, and do not worry, that was just a short bit that you'll get to for the rest of the day. So now we want to hear a word from some more of our IFTJ sponsors. On deck we have a short clip from the Jesuit Volunteer Corps and the Jesuit Volunteer Corps Northwest and the Catholic Theological Union. So if you guys could pay attention to the screens.
At JVC Northwest, Jesuit volunteers spend 1 or more years serving full-time with partner agencies in fields such as education, environmental stewardship, and public health, while living with other JVs in intentional community. JVC Northwest has grown into a movement that exceeds a year of service. It is a movement for simplicity, for justice, for intentional community, and radical love.
I found that CTU was a place where I could combine my desire to be an advocate and an agent of social change. CTU forms leaders who have the courage to lend that prophetic voice to the public discourse, to say that human dignity should be part of our decision making. Mercy should be part of our decision making. And healing can be the goal of our decision making.
Thank you, JVC, JVC Northwest, and Catholic Theological Union, and all of our sponsors one more time. At this moment, I would like us all to center ourselves and ground ourselves for opening prayer.
Good morning. Today we bring our tired bodies, minds, and souls as we come together this moment to settle into the day. Whenever we pause to recognize the divine at work, it's an opportunity to gently settle into a stillness before all the movement, curiosities, excitements, and worries of the day begin to get louder and louder.
This morning, we will settle into this day with a simple, repetitive song in the tradition of Taizé and Iona communities. We invite you to join us in this gentle song as you pick up the rhythm. If you aren't comfortable singing, just let the words settle into your body.
Still and know that I am God. Be 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 still and know I am God. Be still and know that 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 I am God. Be shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summon out what I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summon out what I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summon out what I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summon out what I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summon out what I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me.
Let's give a warm thank you to our prayer ministers this morning. All right, we'd like to welcome to the stage our first two student speakers of the morning. Mansi Singh, a Jesuit from Jesuit High School in Portland, and Serai Espinosa Salamanca, a student from Santa Clara University.
You never tell the kids when mom and dad are fighting. That's what my philosophy teacher said as he tossed me the daily Washington Post article. That June morning, media headlines blared with the startling news that Google had created a highly advanced artificial intelligence chatbot called Lambda, which could feel and experience emotion. This information was intended to remain among Google executives, but after the company dismissed these claims, it went public with the press. And the public ran all over social media in confusion. I pulled out my phone to find images of the Terminator and the Matrix surfacing online. In my small suburban home back in Portland, I had only read articles which painted this endless landscape of corporations dominating the tech industry and companies having these existential crises over their products, among other Silicon Valley theories. And when I asked my friends what they thought of this, they said, "Is this even real? What is Google doing? And why am I even involved in this? This isn't my job. Only companies and lawyers are supposed to handle these kind of conversations. You know, important people." Well, within a year, I was about to find out exactly who these important people are. The following spring, I was in the bustling heartbeat of Silicon Valley as a founder of the Oregon chapter for an organization called Encode Justice, a global coalition of youth activists fighting for justice, accountability, and transparency in the digital age. I was among 5 chapter leads and a team of executives selected to discuss their experiences with technology activism and pose questions to Silicon Valley stakeholders about AI policy and regulation. Now was the time to engage in frank conversation with the people who I spent so much time reading about. But these discussions were unlike anything I had imagined. Our team sat down across from the director of policy at Meta in a local juice cafe. And as we asked more and more questions about the company's AI safety regulations, we got more and more questions in return. But the biggest surprise of all is that when we asked how Meta intends to involve the public in these conversations on AI policy, we got a simple answer. We don't know. What do you guys think we should do? At that moment, I thought back to what my professor had told me. You never tell the kids when mom and dad are fighting. For me, that conversation exposed the underlying tension between these companies who were creating these technologies and the policymakers who were deciding whether or not these issues were even a priority. And among it all, society was backing into a corner like a scared child, watching mom and dad disagree and waiting for it all to be over. Because in so many respects, we are uninformed about what technology ethics even is. In my recent years of working with policymaking and advocacy, I have learned that among us youth, there exists this pervasive call to action about climate, racial, and cultural inequities because not only have they left a deep systemic and personal impact on our generation, but because we've been discussing them for years. Through the school curriculum, our teachers assign novels about how racism influences wrongful court convictions and the small steps that we can take to be more environmentally conscious or more inclusive of each other's culture traditions. On social media platforms, we see posts about the significance of cultural heritage months and what government entities are doing to reduce carbon emissions. But in order for us to fully understand how these complex issues are being addressed, we must wash away our fear of coming face to face with discussions and ideas that we are uncomfortable with by addressing the foundational knowledge required to understand them. Because in these conversations about technological ethics, we are the important people. And through education and advocacy, we must come to terms with how a new, uncomfortable tool is both solving and contributing to social justice issues. The golden currency of our generation, artificial intelligence. The mythical figure Prometheus stole fire from the gods, but our generation decided to create it. When applied to social justice issues, AI is a technology that is just as powerful, if not more. It's being used to detect trees pushing against unhealthy climate conditions in Sierra Nevada, but it's also leaving an immense carbon footprint due to its energy-intensive processes. It's accelerating the review of legal documents, but it also misclassifies criminals through racially biased data sets. And it makes predictions on the migration of global populations while also wrongly analyzing critical information for migration lawyers. These applications expose that AI is already integrated into our society and that it is an inescapable reality that we have to face and act on. Because every social justice issue we look at, AI technology is already one step ahead. And when thinking about this year's theme of Boundless and Beloved, I've come to realize that we've always been inventing and tinkering with tools to explore the boundless opportunities of these technologies. But can we balance that with the love and dedication towards the safety of our communities? As youth, we have a unique culture rooted in activism, community, and personal experience, whether it's digital or physical. Within our schools, we can leverage these interactions to establish our place in these discussions and request that our schools equally integrate literature and advocacy opportunities about technology ethics into our education. And by uplifting our voices through a larger institution, we can compel the people who are in positions of power, like Meta, to acknowledge how significant these topics are to us. Our reality has always demanded us to think, to pursue knowledge, and to act. And as the next generation, we must take the first step in establishing a community of informed and engaged stakeholders working across domains by offering our generation's experience as testimony to the impact of these technologies. It is our responsibility as youth to mature into these topics and establish our place, our rightful place, in these adult conversations. It is time for us to talk to mom and dad. Let's work together to build a boundless and beloved family. Thank you.
First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the Anamacostans, the Pictawe, and the Pamuke native lands. It is essential to recognize and honor the indigenous people who have cared for this land for centuries. My name is Sarai Espinosa Salamanca from Santa Clara University. My journey in the United States began when I immigrated from Mexico at the age of 4. However, it wasn't until my junior year of high school when I discovered that I was undocumented. At that time, my school counselor told me, people like you don't go to college. I was wondering, why me? I had worked so diligently as a student, fulfilling all of my requirements expected of me. As I watched my classmates proudly walk across the graduating stage with their college futures ahead, I saw nothing at the end of that stage for me. I was confronted with the harsh reality of living in the United States without legal documentation and the immense obstacles that stood in the way of pursuing my higher education. I closed my eyes and prayed for guidance in the next chapter of my life. Little did I know that I would one day create something that would enable students like me to chase their dreams and without financial constraints and immigration status being a hindrance. In 2016, I founded an app called Dreamers Roadmap. To date, we have approximately supported 45,000 undocumented students find scholarships to pursue their college education. As a nonprofit, we have also been flexible in our mission, launching 2 campaigns during the COVID-19 pandemic. These initiatives, First of the Month and Supplies for Farm Workers, aim to support low-income essential workers to pay with their rent, which provided support for 3 to 5 months. Through First of the Month, a $2.7 million campaign, we help hundreds of families in my community. Our Supplies for Farm Workers campaign, a 100% volunteer-ran, we collect donations, essentials, and food for farm workers. We have distributed 1,000 new pairs of shoes, 200 emergency preparedness kits, 10,000 bags of food, and 20,000 backpacks. My team and I have become integral in our community, shedding light and giving voice to those who have been voiceless, particularly farm workers and undocumented immigrants who often live in the shadows, driven by the fear of separation from their families and potential exposure. When we embarked on Supplies for Farm Workers, our goal was to show up genuinely and authentically, ensuring that the farm workers did not perceive us as a threat, but as allies. Most of our team, myself included, are immigrants or part of mixed status families. Speaking Spanish allows us to connect with the farm workers in their native language, fostering trust and comfort. Over the years, we have built a network of 350 volunteers ready to assist us in collecting donations, coordinating materials, and personally delivering essentials to farm workers. When I think of Boundless, I think of my mother, her unwavering faith in God, and her belief that all things are possible and happen for a reason serve as my inspiration. I reflect on the night that we crossed the desert of Arizona, unsure of our destination. It was dark, cold, and I was often carried by those who accompanied us. I remember the sensation of the desert rocks beneath my sandals. As an adult, I now understand that my parents left our home country due to violence, poverty, and lack of opportunity. Leaving behind their home, family, friends, and culture was not easy. Their sacrifice embodied boundless love. They made tremendous sacrifices to provide my brother and I a better life. My mother's unconditional and boundless love is the foundation of who I am and why I do what I do today. I approach all of my endeavors with faith and love, guided by the values that my mother instilled in me. Living a life of service for others is a lesson that my mother imparted in me. I am blessed to be in a position to support my community, just as I was once sought assistance from local churches for food and toys growing up. Today, my team and I visit the most overlooked and marginalized places and offer our support. These efforts have let me be recognized by Forbes 30 Under 30, a champion of change at the White House, and even invited to give a TED Talk. Success has not been easy. And on challenging days, I find my solace in my favorite Bible verse, which says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, and I will help you, and I would uphold you in with my righteous right hand." My daily prayer is that I may be a vessel for God's work, serving my fellow brothers and sisters with love, intention, and dedication. May we all make time to see the needs in our communities and be inspired to take action in serving those around us. To my fellow peers and all the young people here, I know that you not only have the power to influence the future, but you also have the power to influence the present. I stand for humanity. I do not stand for violence of any sort. No innocent life in any part of the world should die over politics. My heart hurts to see how much pain we are inflicting on one another. We should be supporting and uplifting each other. The world is big enough for all of us to have a piece of it and live in peace and harmony. I pray that we can all agree that in war, no one wins. Cease fire now. Amen.
Let's give it up one more time for Mansi and Sarai. All right, friends, so now in order to prep for tomorrow's Advocacy Day, who's excited for Advocacy Day tomorrow? Little more Advocacy Day. We're going to the Capitol. All right, so in preparation for that, I'd like to welcome to the stage Pedro de Velasco, who's the Director of Education and Advocacy at the Keynote Border Initiative, and he's gonna give us a policy briefing on migration justice, so welcome him up.
Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure being here with you today. So yeah, my name is Pedro de Velasco. I'm a migrant from Mexico, and I'm also the Director of Education and Advocacy with the Keynote Border Initiative. And I know that you're all excited to learn more about migration policy on the early Sunday morning. But yeah, let's learn a little bit more about it. So basically, the Keynote Border Initiative, we're a binational Catholic organization. We are right at the border of what is called Ambos Nogales, in the border between Nogales, Sonora, and Nogales, Arizona, US-Mexico border. And we work to promote humane, just, and workable migration. And we do this through direct humanitarian assistance and holistic accompaniment of migrants, education and encounter, to awaken solidarity with migrants. And also we engage in policy advocacy, both in Mexico and the United States. So, of course, asylum is a big deal when we talk about migration policy, particularly border policy, because for a few years now, the US government has tried to block people or prevent them from exercising their right to asylum. Yes, asylum is a human right. And so an asylum seeker is a person that is fleeing violence and persecution in their home country. And that violence and persecution they're facing has to do with their race or ethnicity, with their nationality, with their religion, their political opinion, or their membership to certain social group. And therefore, they're seeking protection elsewhere in another country. So right now, the vast majority of the folks that we continue to receive at the US-Mexico border are people that are fleeing violence and persecution. And yes, I mean, right now, the asylum ban, I don't know if you have heard of it, but it's not, like something new that the US government suddenly decided to block people from exercising the right to asylum, but this has been, unfortunately, going on for a while. Before you had metering, then you have the migrant protection protocols, or the protocols of the 3 lives, because they're not for migrants, they're not for their protection, and of course they're not protocols. And then you had, well, you might also learn of them about the Remain in Mexico. And then, the US government decided to weaponize the pandemic, use it as an excuse to effectively prevent migrants from accessing asylum with what was called Title 42. And yes, that ended after over 3 years, blocking people on May of this year. So you will guess, okay, Pedro, so now migrants are able to approach the border and exercise the right to asylum and come to the United States? Unfortunately, no, because there's currently what is known as the asylum ban or the asylum rule. So basically, this rule says that someone can be disqualified from asylum based on how they enter the United States. So if a person enters the United States without a CBP-1 appointment, they can be disqualified. If they enter without using this special payroll program for Cuban, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, they can be disqualified. Or if they travel through different countries, including Mexico, and they didn't seek asylum in any of these countries, then they can be disqualified. So basically, who can qualify? Well, only a very small number of individuals. So CBP-1, basically the US government wants folks that are trying to come to the United States to seek protection to download an app in their smartphones, and that, through that app, they are able to fill out all their information and then request an appointment, but it's, just randomly allocated, so it's like winning the lottery. So we have people that have been stuck in Nogales for months and months without being able to secure an appointment because, it's just luck getting it. And of course, it's not at any port of entry that you can, seek an appointment. There's only a few that are participating. So, and the other problem is that, this comes from the presumption that every asylum seeker has a cell phone, and that those that have a cell phone have a smartphone. And even those that have a smartphone, that they know how to operate it. I don't know about you, but can you imagine your mom and dad downloading an app and, securing an appointment, even their lives depend on it? So, yeah, it's a challenge. So the other one is that payroll for Cuban, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. So basically, the U.S. decided that people from these countries are able to be payrolled in the United States. So it's a good program, but only for a very few number of people, because it has a lot of requirements and not everybody meets them. So first, you must have somebody in the United States willing to fill out a form I-134A on your behalf, basically saying I will sponsor this person. You have to have an unexpired, valid passport for international travel. You have to pay for your own commercial flight. And the other thing is that you cannot have been deported from the United States. Finally, if you already crossed the border of Panama or the border of Mexico or the border of the United States, you're also disqualified for this program. So, it's only in benefit of a very small number of individuals. I remember talking to Alberto, a young Venezuelan man, and he was telling me, he was right there at the border of Nogales, Sonora, Nogales, Arizona, and he was learning for the first time about this payroll program, and he was telling me, I didn't know about this, but even if I knew, I could have not waited in Venezuela because my life was at stake. I had to get out of there as fast as I could. So that's really not an option, waiting for somebody to file this form for you and then being approved and then get a flight ticket and all that. It's just nonsense. So, and even with all that we've been saying, if somehow you're able to overcome these obstacles, you win the lottery, you secure a CBP-1 appointment, or you have somebody willing to sponsor you from the United States and you come with this payroll program, if you're one of the lucky nationalities, even if you're able to get to the United States, it's not like, you want a golden ticket and everything's easy. And I always explain this to people, it's not the end of the fight or the struggle. It's just the end of a chapter. You finish the chapter fighting for asylum in Mexico, and now you begin the new chapter that is fighting for asylum in the United States. And one of those challenges have to do with integration, and the main one has to do with asylum seekers not being able to get an employment authorization document. So I don't know if you know this, but depending on how they enter, but most of asylum seekers right now, they have to wait for 5 months after they submitted their asylum application in order to be able to request an employment authorization document through the I-765 form. So basically, after they submit it, they still have to wait, it says, about a month to get it, but in reality, because of all the backlogs and processing delays with USCIS, it takes anywhere between 8 months to a year, or sometimes even more. So, I mean, imagine, for example, a very close friend of ours, Carlota, was a migrant who was stranded in Nogales for nearly a year. After she was able to get to the United States, she struggled to secure a source of income because, I mean, the US government is expecting her to simply rely on her sponsor and not work. And as she's telling me, like, we need to get a lawyer, an immigration lawyer right away. And those are expensive in the US. And we need to provide for our children. And we are hardworking people. We are used to provide for our families. But we're not able to do this. Or as Miriam was telling me, this actually put us at risk of being abused by employers because without a document, she was working at this restaurant and she cut her finger, but since she was not on the payroll, she couldn't access healthcare. So, I mean, that's just a few of the problems. And, there's right now this Asylum Seeker Work Authorization Act at the House. So that's something that we will discuss, but that's, a great solution because it offers really the possibility of shortening this wait time for asylum seekers. And the other thing is, in general, there's over 10 million of undocumented immigrants in the United States without a pathway to citizenship. So, I mean, yes, Congress has the solution in their hands, but there hasn't been an immigration reform for years and years. So it's very difficult for a migrant to, regularize their status or even become a U.S. citizen. Of course, this includes DACA recipients, the TPS holders, farm workers, and other essential workers. And I don't know if you know, but there's something called the registry program. The registry program allows certain undocumented immigrants who have been continuously present in the United States. But here's the thing. So you have to have been present in the United States since January 1st of 1972. So yeah, it's a long run. So basically, this provision was last updated in 1986, and I know that most of us in this room haven't even been born yet then. So yeah, me included, of course. And so I mean, yeah, this definitely needs to be updated. So tomorrow, for your visit with some of the congressional offices, I have this ask for you. Of course, you can add more, the ones that resonate with you. But the main one that we're focusing right now regarding the border, we are asking to reallocate DHS funds to maximize access to asylum at ports of entry. Both for people with CBP-1 appointments, it's a benefit for certain people, but also for people without a CBP-1 appointment, instead of investing in detention and enforcement programs. Also to increase congressional oversight on DHS through hearings, inquiries, and accountability reports, to allocate more funds to the shelter and services programs. This actually funds NGOs that are doing humanitarian work, welcoming our migrant siblings at the border. Also, of course, I was mentioning it to support the Asylum Seeker Work Authorization Act, the HR 1325. And this last bill is about updating the registry program, the one that I was telling you about that hasn't been updated since 1986. That tells, certain people can register and get a pathway for a green card if they have been around since 1972. So the idea behind this bill is that people are able to access a green card if they have been present since, for the last 7 years. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, we have a table there at Columbia, so you can always approach Keynote Border Initiative, and I'll be happy to address any questions. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause and thank you to all of our speakers this morning. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a little intermission with Francisco and the Peace Poets.
Thank you so much. Just one piece poet for now. I want to give a lot of gratitude in this moment, gratitude to Creator for our lives, gratitude for this moment, gratitude for the people who work in this hotel. And so we can just say a couple thank yous right now. Well, it feels good to say thank you. And let's start with the powerful speakers we just got to hear. Can I hear the crowd say thank you? I'm just gonna do it like you really are like, wow, you're offering us real stories, real truth, real heart, real love, and say it like you mean it. Say thank you. Thank you. Oh, your voices sound so beautiful today. We don't have voices, we don't have lungs, we don't have minds, we don't have hands without our mothers. Am I right? So I want to bring into this space our mothers today. I want to think about, as we do, as we honor the ones who gave us life. I want to give gratitude to my partner taking care of our son right now so I can be here with y'all. I want to give gratitude again for each one of your mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers. And I want to think this morning particularly about the mothers and the fathers and the children of Gaza. I want to think about the people throughout the whole region who are mourning right now. Our mothers teach us to love, and so that's why I'm going to do this poem. And if we love life, then we protect life. Am I right? Whew. This is my mother's favorite story. When I was 5 years old, my uncle asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I took a second, thought about it, and said, I want to be a mommy. And just like that, he laughed at me, didn't think that I understood what he was asking me, but I did. Because even while other kids wanted to be ballers and doctors, I never saw those guys pick me up from school to make me pot roast and pasta. Meanwhile, my mother was for me what Haile Selassie is to Rastas. Made more change in my life than everybody and Obama. She is my Alleluia and Hosanna. So this right here is for my mama. You probably didn't notice you were teaching me to protest, but you were. You gave me the fearlessness that's followed me from Palestine to Albany with fistfuls of humility to treat this life with fragility. And the freedom song that's filling me is just the lullaby you used to sing to me that taught me nobody should have to live through nightmares. And that lesson has become the root of my profession, so tonight I'm celebrating all the women who taught us to fight for human rights. Articulating Article 1 by welcoming us into this life. You see, my mother's the personification of the ideal United Nations because she actually just loves everyone with equal dignity and patience, which is why I'm so passionate about Article 2, freedom from discrimination. And she had love like the sun had light. So I had Article 25's food and a place to sleep at night. Plus, I was always that kid breaking up fights because her compassion taught me freedom from persecution. She's why I don't believe in execution. And her encouragement for the way that I write, that's just the way she chose to cite Article 27 that says art and culture is a human right. Thank you, because now my job is bringing poetry to war zones. From Haiti to Juarez and Beirut to Brooklyn, where our people are overflowing in prisons full of hurt. My mother just went back to school to study social work, exercising her right to education. She is my universal declaration. And the only reason I studied politics and economics is because they didn't have a degree in motherhood. But they should. And there should be required courses for everybody in the armed forces that teach no mother's child should be tortured, so close those secret prisons down. And no mother's child should go hungry, so we want international debt relief now. We all gotta keep it a lot more moms if our government is dropping bombs. We better get out in these streets like any mother would if you threaten her child's peace. I still wanna be a mommy, so you better tell the government not to draft me, because I got kids who are both American, Palestinian, and Iraqi. And you best believe that a child is loved by their mother, no matter where they're born. Which is also why I'm gonna take these streets for immigration reform, telling Congress and the president, we want legalization now. This is the only way I know how to say thank you to my mother. I am the child that you fostered like care in the form of wisdom shared. And I'd be rich if I had a dime for every time you told me to fix my hair. But in savings I am poor. I always send my money back to Ecuador so there could be just a little more food on the plates where hunger often waits. You taught me never hesitate to give, so this is how I live. If my income can become bread, it will. And still, when it comes to love, I could never fill your shoes. But every step I take will be to prove you taught me well, Mom. I know it's hard when I go away sometimes. I know you miss your baby and you worry about my safety, but remember, I only do what I do because when I grow up, I want to be like you. Thank you.
Given those beautiful words, let's just take a moment to recall in our minds our mothers and our mother figures in our lives and how they brought us here today. So let's just take a moment of quiet to think of them. And let's give another round of gratitude toward Lou for his beautiful words here. All right, we have two more sponsor videos from the Catholic Volunteer Network and Jesuit School of Theology.
Estoy cierta, lo he visto, cómo tomar la decisión de ofrecer parte de tu vida, de entregar un tiempo a lo desconocido, puede despertar en cada uno de los jóvenes y las jóvenes unas nuevas oportunidades en su existencia que van a tener repercusión forever and ever.
Welcome to the Jesuit School of Theology of Santa Clara University, a graduate theological center where you can learn at the intersection of scholarship, religion, and culture. At JST, you'll engage with your faith through approaches grounded in the 21st century, the Church's global context, and our Jesuit identity. Join our vibrant community of scholars, ministers, and changemakers to discover how you can serve our world.
Special thank you to all of our sponsors. Please make sure you are stopping by the exhibitors and our sponsors. Next, we're going to welcome our next keynote speaker, Sister Norma Pimentel. Sister Norma is a sister with the Missionaries of Jesus who has served as Executive Director of Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley for the past 10 years. She was instrumental in quickly organizing community resources to respond to the surge of Central Americans seeking asylum in the United States and setting up humanitarian respite centers in McAllen, Texas. These efforts captured the world's attention, drawing news media from around the globe to cover the plight of these desperate Central American refugee families and compelling thousands of individuals from this country and others to contribute their time, talents, and treasures to serve and support them. Before overseeing Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, Sister Pimentel was one of the leaders who directed Casa Ascaramero, a refugee center for Central Americans. The shelter provided emergency relief and temporary housing for hundreds of thousands of refugees. Sister Norma Pimentel earned her bachelor's degree in fine arts from the Pan American University, a master's degree in theology from St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas, and a master's degree in counseling psychology from Loyola Chicago. Please welcome Sister Norma.
Thank you, muchas gracias. I'm not supposed to touch this because they say it would fall. So if it does, well, we'll have a laugh. I come from South Texas, border with Mexico, and I lived there all my life. So I know a lot about what's happening there. And I'm actually very blessed to be part of the Rio Grande Valley, the South Texas, and be part of what it means to respond to the many immigrants that come to our border. Because I feel that it is there that I find God, in their faces, in their stories, in their lives. And as we heard just moments ago about Sarai, she shared her story, her courageous story when she was just a baby, and her family carried her into this country through all the difficulties that they face. And like her story, I've seen tens of thousands of people that have come to traveling, leaving their country, fearing for their lives, and especially for their babies like Sarai, you know, and their children. And if I asked a mother or a family, ¿Por qué viniste? Why did you come? They respond, for my little boy. He's already at the age that they will take him. I don't want him to grow up being part of an anger and hatred with a gun and destroying lives. I want him to have a chance in life. These are the stories I hear time and time again of families that come traveling through so many countries, many of them losing their lives along the way. I have a young boy that arrived and was in the other side of Mexico, and right in the other side of the United States, in Mexico, in Reynosa, and he was only 15 years old. He came with his dad and his older brother, but in Panama, there's this ferocious river that just swept them away, and he was left alone. Finally, he figured out what to do to move forward, and ended up at the border in the United States. And this is some of the stories that I hear of how difficult it is to travel and to end up at the border, and it's not an easy thing that for these families to live. And many of us here in the United States question, why do they come? Why don't they just stay where they are? Why don't they enter legally? Even legally, as we just heard from this young man that just shared with us, it's not that easy. It's very difficult. But even if they try, they have to wait. And usually it's for the benefit of those that maybe have money to enter the United States that can come in legally. They don't have anything. And the little that they have, it's taken away from them. They have to be hiding as they travel so that people don't find them, because they'll take everything they can, and even what they don't have. I remember a dad shared with me that he was coming, and as he was coming with his little boy, I think the little boy must have been like maybe 10 or 12 years old. He came across two young girls. They were teenagers. They were traveling alone, and he told them, join us. Come with us so that we can protect you, and we can all go together. But as they were traveling through Mexico, and they reached a point when they were going in a bus, a public bus, traveling north, They stopped the bus and they got all the immigrants that were there in the bus, and they took them to a stash warehouse where they were then kept there until they would pay up if they wanted to be released. The two young girls, he said, immediately they took them and they never saw them again. All they could hear is crying somewhere. And then they took his little boy and they put a gun to his head right in front of him. And his father was sharing this story with tears of unbelief. They said, "You give us money or he will die." And then he heard that they fired the gun right in front of him. And he had his eyes closed. When he opened his eyes, his boy was still there. And he said, "I don't know if it was God that saved him or that they were just bluffing." So I called people and managed to get some money, somebody to send us money so that they let us go. And this is why I'm here today. These are story after story that I hear of people leaving their countries, daring, traveling through great dangers, and many of them not making it. But those that do, or at the border, many of them, and those that manage to enter the United States are here in our community. And we hear in the news and everywhere how upset our communities are because there's so many of them. We don't understand their stories, their life. So we ask ourselves, if they didn't come, they wouldn't have to suffer. But the truth is that they do. It is not until it's our children, my brother or my mother or my son, or like Sarai, they knew that their only way to make her be successful in life like she is today is because they dared to come and risk their lives so they could make it. And they're here. It is people like her and her family that the only way we can make a difference is by standing up and being a voice and saying, as she said to us, we must stand up together to be that presence that says, there's room for everybody in this world. This world was made for all of us, not just for a selected few. Let us be that presence, that voice, so they too can have a voice. So that children at the border don't have to be put in detention or families be sent back to their country because that's the only way we can deal with this politically. There needs to be another side that is important to us as people of faith. I feel that the biggest threat that we face today in our world is the dehumanization of life. It's like life doesn't matter. That we can easily take it without even holding back and feeling bad about it. I sometimes think that sometimes people that are even Christians believe that God gives us permission to turn our backs on people. It almost feels that way. But when I get close to families, to children that are crying there before me, that are all dirty and muddy and scared and frightened, I've seen them in the detention facility asking me, por favor, sácame de aquí. Please get me out of here. When you see that right there before you, I don't believe there's anyone with a heart Because I think God made us all with a heart that cares. It is only those that distance themselves from and put themselves in some kind of a bubble so they don't feel. It is only then that you don't feel, and if you don't get close enough to see what I see. I see children come up to me in my shelter where sometimes it's so full because I don't have space to put so many, but yet when another family comes in, they tell me, sister, madrecita, aquí cabe. They fit here. And honestly, if I were to put another 10 people in there wherever you are, there's no room, yet you make room. They made room. They opened their space and says, we all fit here. Because they all understand the struggles that they go through. And they're just happy that they're in a safe space where they're welcome and they're treated with respect. When I started back almost 10 years now, the center that we oversee right now, it was all of us, the community, came together as one community, one church. It didn't matter if you're Catholic, or you're Protestant, or you're evangelical, or you're whoever. We were all there together as one church, one community caring, believing that responding to the care of families and children was the right thing to do. It didn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, whether you're law enforcement or even Border Patrol. We were all together working and have continued to work together in South Texas as one community because we believe one thing: restoring human dignity. When we believe in restoring human dignity, everybody believes that that is the right thing to do. It's not about politics. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about doing what's right. And that I believe that that is what we're called to do. All of us, you have great energy, great enthusiasm. All of you can make a difference in today's world with all that is happening today. The one thing we must work together to do is to try to bring back God into our world. I just got a text this morning from somebody saying, it looks like hate is more popular than love. I don't agree with that. I think all of us, you, can make a difference to show that love is the center of who we are. It needs to be the compass that moves us forward, that fires us inside, ignites us to be able to make a difference and stand up and not be afraid. I remember early on when I started as a religious sister, I was then 23, 24 years old, and my mentor, this beautiful older woman from Spain, Juliana Garcia, she was an amazing person in my life because she guided me to discover myself in God. And she told me once, when we went to stand up and support people that were speaking in favor of supporting our immigrants that were coming into the United States, and the police came to arrest everybody. And she said to me, Norma, when we say we believe in something and then we just run away because things get tough, then we don't stand for anything and we're nobody. So we both cannot get arrested, so you decide who stays. So I guess I said, I guess it's me, right? And she says, okay, bye. She left me there. But for me, you know, being young, it was like, okay, I came to realize that was a decisive moment for me to understand who I was, what I stood for. Why was it important for me to say, yes, I will be arrested? It was not an easy thing to do, but I did it. Because I believe in one thing. From that moment forward, for me, standing up for life mattered. Mattered to the point that I said, yes, it is wrong to destroy life. It is wrong for us to take somebody else's life, to not respect somebody else. That's what I stood for. So I ask you, what do you stand for? What are you willing to do for God? I always say, why don't you write a blank check to God with your life and says, I'm yours. You decide anything and everything that you want of me. Aquí estoy. Are you willing to do that? Does your life really matter to the point that you want to make a difference and accomplish what you're called to be? Because you were created for a purpose, for a reason. We all were. Nobody else can do what you're called to be. So when you hold back from being that, who you are called to be, you don't make happen what needs to happen in this world. Make that difference. I'm doing my part. Every morning, I wake up, I tell God, okay, what do you have in store for me for today? And believe me, He does have plenty for me to do. All you have to do is listen to Him. Make Him part of your life so that He directs you and He can become your compass. Not what we hear in the media. Not when we hear others trying to direct us, pretty much hijacking our faith and telling us what we must and must not do, but rather consult with God. Let Him be the guiding force within you that tells you every morning when you get up, aquí estoy, Señor, ¿qué quieres de mí? Lead me. You will know. I don't have to tell you what you need to do because you will know in your heart what God wants. He'll put people in front of you and you'll get the courage to stand up and speak and say, you're going to speak about tomorrow, or I think it's tomorrow, to Advocacy Day. This is your chance to speak about what matters to you. Things that are happening today in our country, in our world. Our country is the most powerful nation in the world, and we can make a difference for the better. This is your chance to tell them. Be our leaders that support the dignity of life, respect of human life. There's so many things that we can speak up for. And this is your chance to do it. It is now that you must do it. Let us be an inspiration to others and push ourselves to be the best we can be every single day. We can only overcome hate and fear with love. So let us use kindness and tenderness in a radical way, always, with our families, with our friends, with our neighbors, with strangers. Let it show that the only thing and the only way that we can transform this world is with love, with God's presence in our hearts and with one another. So that by igniting that fire within, we will show the world that every life matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, very much, Sister Norma. I was going to ask us to do another round, but I appreciate you all for showing her some love after her amazing words this morning. I would like to now invite up Emmanuel from the Peace Poets.
Peace, family. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for holding this space. This poem that I would like to share with y'all is called Lucero, and it was written after the murder of this young man named Marcelo Lucero, who was killed simply for having brown skin in the wrong place. And this is also dedicated to everyone who is dehumanized by the title immigrant. And everyone who's dehumanized with whatever label or whatever title is created, right, to take away the value of your life. This is for the immigrant, undocumented and unrepentant, who says they ain't seeing me because my revolution is being me. This is for the anti-celebrity, a hero whose power is invisibility. This is for the underdog's underdog dog. Try working with no paid overtime and a bad spine. They'll redefine your definition of on the grind. They got family on the mind. What you know about depression and dismay, they've crossed rivers to get here and cried them to stay. Undocumented. But they call them illegal, because last time I looked, it was a crime to be equal. They are neglect personified, an existence vilified, so forget stages, pens and pages. They are soldiers waging war below minimum wages. And sage burns slow por la gente que falta, because I remember the deception of Atahualpa. Was it worth the spoils? Their ancestors fought for gold, their descendants fight for oil. Our blood fertilizes the soil. We resurrect in the Amazon as trees that will bring down Babylon, though that day seems far from illegal stops asking us for green cards. But my brothers taught me a different set of colors. White man stole red man's land while using yellow man to build his railroad tram and using black hands to sow and reap the profits. So when it said illegals don't pay taxes, I say my peoples have done enough to fill your pockets. And contribute to the offense, though they call it national defense. Though if we follow the sequence, we haven't fought a war on our soil for many a season, but we invade other countries like criminals thieving. Irony is, when they set up a mortgage that I cannot afford, and I look at history and realize, ain't none of this yours. Immigration has a history of how people end up here. I'm from the Caribbean, at least that's in this hemisphere. But they have the audacity to look at me with a foreign fear and distaste because I'm a mischief of mixed race, and they rather I be the illegal immigrant than a Palestinian militant, because the day of all people's revolution is imminent. But on that day, we will not ask you to let us in, because God already made us citizens. Thank you.
Can we give one extra round of applause for everyone who's done such a beautiful job this morning? All right, so we've got a number of announcements. We need you to stick with us, and if you don't, you're going to miss the raffle at the end. So hang on with us, stay focused. and we'll be brief as we possibly can. Our first announcement, please stop by the exhibitors if you are of age and registered, or so you can register to vote. So if you are 18, will be 18, please stop by and register to vote in the exhibition area in Columbia.
So raise your hand if you're 18 or over. Raise your hand if you are already registered to vote. Okay, so anybody who dropped your hands, we will see you all at the registration table after this during the break. Speaking about the breakout sessions, if everyone in your books on page 18 and 19, we're gonna have a break and then the sessions start right at 11. So make sure that you already know where you're going, where you're headed. The map is also in there, 18 and 19.
All right, we got to stay with me here because you're going to miss some important announcements about breakouts here. During session 2, identity, work, and intersectional as core social concepts scheduled for Lincoln West has unfortunately been canceled. In session 3, accompanying LGBTQ plus students in Catholic high schools is now in Cardozo, and Injustice in the Holy Land is now in Columbia 7. So make sure if you're planning on attending one of those, you make a note in your book so you go to the correct room there. And then make sure to check out page 4 in the book for lunch options.
Okay, and then yesterday we made the announcement about Eucharistic ministering and choir. So if you are already registered or signed up for the choir, or you want to be, there's going to be practice during lunch. So you're actually going to come up here at the front stage right after this breakout at 11:45. Come here, and there'll be a quick practice for the choir at lunchtime.
And if you'd like to be a Eucharistic minister, also come up to the stage to meet Anna, and she will be here with you.
Okay, another announcement. We're getting to the raffle, but who remembers how to get the raffle tickets? Visiting the exhibitors. Whoever said that, yes. So during this break, you have a good chunk of time to go get some raffle tickets. So go visit the exhibitors and make sure that you're entering the raffle for the prizes. We'll be drawing a bunch of names throughout the day.
All right, before we get to the prizes, make sure to be back here at 2:40 for a special presentation from Francisco and the Peace Poets. It's going to be lit. Make sure you're back in time. I know. I use cool kid lingo.
Okay. Wait, you have to tell them we're drawing 12 names.
All right. We're drawing 12 names. All right. If you win, make sure to go up to the registration table to claim your prize. Our first prize winner is Veronica Sovzek.
That one's just a number.
Raywell Bonil. Anna Driscoll. Natana Treter. Karis Gill. Sammy Ellsworth. I cannot read that one.
Miguel.
Miguel Mana. Are you counting?
Nope.
Okay.
How many are?
Merton Mueller.
7, 8.
8. Okay.
This is 9.
Josh Rizzo.
10.
Grace George.
11.
Angel Madera.
And the last one.
And the final one,
For right now.
for now, Katie Montgomery. Thanks, everybody.
All right, so if your name was called, you're going to go to the registration table right by the IFTJ after this session to get your prize. Enjoy your break and see you at breakouts at 11:45 at 11.
We are becoming boundless and beloved. We got each other, boundless and beloved. We are becoming boundless and beloved. We got each other.
Peace is not simply the absence of war, but the work of justice.
En un mundo de paz.